I do enjoy getting questions, and here's a good one. It says, Patricia, Jesus says that an evil generation asks for a sign. I believe it is dangerous to ask for signs. Christians that do so could be called an evil generation. And that's a good thought. But in the context of that scripture, Jesus is referring to those who do not believe. An evil generation is a generation who does not believe. And so sometimes people will ask for a sign because they don't believe. They say, I don't believe that, and if it's true, give me a sign. But inside, they don't really believe. Even if there was a sign, they wouldn't believe. In fact, I've seen signs and wonders separate believers from unbelievers, because a true believer will have a heart to embrace the sign, the wonder, the miracle. I've actually seen Jesus perform miracles of healing, and people that watched that healing take place were stood around, watched it, watched the evidence, heard the testimony, doubted the healing power of Jesus Christ touching them. And so that's what Jesus was addressing. He was saying an evil generation or an unbelieving generation, they desire a sign. But the thing is, even if they get a sign, they don't believe it, you know. It's like Thomas, after Jesus had died and they heard that he was alive because the women were at the grave and they came back and said he's alive. And he says, I'm not going to believe that unless I can actually have something tangible touch me. I want to be able to touch his hands. I want to touch his side. I want to see for sure. I want to make sure. I'm not just going to believe a statement that's proclaimed through someone else that says they saw him. I want to touch it myself. So he wouldn't believe unless he had a sign. So Jesus, because of love and because of great mercy, did come into the midst of that room and showed himself. And he said, okay, Thomas, feel my hands, touch my side. And Thomas said, wow, you are alive. It is you. And Jesus wasn't very impressed. He said, Thomas, you believe because you've seen, but blessed is he who believes and does not see. So signs are to follow those who believe, it says in Mark 16. Signs will follow those who believe. It's for believers. But if unbelievers ask for a sign, oftentimes it's because they don't believe, and even if they were to see one, they wouldn't believe anyways. And that's what Jesus was referring to as far as an unbelieving, a perverted, an evil, wicked generation. But that is not what he's referring to as far as believers. Believers should get excited about the signs. And yes, you can even look for them and want them and expect them, because that is showing the Lord that you have faith. And he gets excited about anyone who has faith.